Catch is a nose boop to the palm of our hand. We can use this as a way to redirect our dog away from something or to simply get them warmed up and focused to work with us.
Touch. Yes, good boy.
When practicing sit or down, make sure that you sometimes reward a second or even a third time for him holding the position. We want to make sure he understands that when we ask these things, that he doesn't just immediately pop up when trying to take the treat or even after receiving the treat. We want him to hold it for a little bit. So by rewarding a second or third time, it teaches him that if he continues to offer the behavior that was asked of him, he can get more rewards possibly. You also want to make sure that you're not repeating yourself. So when you say sit or down, say it once, pause, give him time to respond before trying again.
Moves. Sit. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Down. Yes, good boy. Good boy, moves.
For come when called, we're going to say his name and then come. And as soon as he turns his head to look at us, that's where we're going to mark yes. And then begin praising him all the way to us and rewarding. It's really, really important that you get that yes in as soon as he looks at you, because that's what gets him moving and knowing he did the right thing. You want to practice this in as many places as possible. So in the backyard or taking a long leash and going to the park or in the front yard even to practice around other distractions. Place means go there, lay down, and stay there until you are released. So we want to not have to say all of those words, right? Place means all of that. So we're going to point towards the bed and say place. Once he goes to the bed and lays down, we can mark yes and then deliver him a treat. And he is to stay there until he's released. His release word is free, and that means he's free to get up and do whatever. We do not need to reward that release because the reward is you get to get up and move at your own free will. There are two ways to practice this. One is kind of informal training sessions like I'm doing here. You'll cue him place, once down, mark yes and reward, and then you're going to walk around adding distance, duration between reinforcement, as well as maybe some small distractions like opening doors, messing with something on the table, dropping an item, etc. And then you're going to reward him periodically throughout this. You're going to come all the way back to him, reward him by placing the treat on the bed. This is a very important piece. We want to make sure we're not rewarding from our hand to his mouth, because then he's going to think he can get up to try to get the treat when we start heading his way. We want to make sure he understands he stays where he's at. The food comes to him on the bed. So you're going to place the treat on the bed when rewarding. Over time, as you practice more and more, you'll slowly start spacing out how often that reward comes until you don't need as many or anything at all except for maybe one treat. So you're going to just practice this in these training sessions where you can build up his ability to withstand the longer duration between treats, as well as building in some of those distractions. If at any point he gets up and you did not release him, simply send him back saying place. And this time when he gets there and lays down, you are not going to reward. You can still say yes and give him a little praise like good boy, but we're not going to reward him. You're going to go back to doing whatever it was you were trying to do when he got up, trying again, and then rewarding. This is really important because if you reward him for when you send him back when he got up, you will get stuck in a loop where he thinks he can get off just to be sent back and get treats. So we want to make sure that if he gets up, we just send him back, no reward, and then continue with what we were working on and then reward. Another way to practice this is in real life contexts, in times where you would want him to be doing place. For us, that's dinner time, always, so that they're not bothering you, they're not begging, and it's a way to keep an eye on them, especially when they're puppies. So same thing as what you did in the formal session, you're going to bring that place bed close to you so that you have access to rewarding him easily throughout dinner. Cue him to place, and then periodically throughout dinner, you're going to reward him. And if he gets up, send him back and continue on, just like in those formal sessions. Only in these sessions, you're actually doing something very specific, like eating dinner or cooking dinner or working at your computer, whatever the activity may be. If there's a situation that you would want him to always place in, like dinner time, it's a really great way to build in him understanding that this is just what he does. So for us, because it's something we do every single night at mealtime, he got the hang of it and understood that that was what was expected of him. And so because his bed was placed in the kitchen, every time we went to sit down for dinner, he was already on his bed ready to go because he knew the pattern. When the humans sit down for meal times, that's my cue to go to my bed. So if you do it consistently, you'll find that they start picking up that routine all on their own, which is just super helpful in life with our dogs when they kind of just know what to do. Another tip is when rewarding him, of course, having him close so that it's easy for you to reward him without it bouncing off the bed. But the other thing I would recommend is using a treat that you don't mind touching and then touching your own food. For me, this is string cheese. It makes dinner time place training extra special, as well as not messy for me as far as touching that and then touching my own food. Wait means stop and don't go any further. So when we say wait, we're kind of drawing an imaginary line and saying you cannot go any further than this. Unlike a place or a stay, we do not care what position they are in. They could be standing, sitting, laying down, or even moving around as long as they do not cross that line. So you can see here I've cued him to wait at the threshold of the steps, and then I am periodically tossing him a treat down there to reward him. This is important that we're always rewarding behind that line that we drew. And then you'll see where he kind of comes to the stairs, stops because he knows that's the line. That's where I drew the line and he's not allowed to pass it. When you want him to kind of cross that line, you can use his release word free, just like we did for place. This is helpful on stairs so that you don't have a dog that is tripping you going up or down stairs. And then, of course, it's super helpful with things like the front door so that we don't have a dog that is door dashing outside every time the front door opens. So same thing, you're going to cue wait, open the door. If he were to try to cross that line, you would just shut the door, step back towards him, back him up a little bit, and start over. When I come in, you can see I'm going to toss a reward away from the door. Again, this is super important so that he knows that the food comes back behind that line and not from me. One way I love to build in this practice in real time is anytime you have a package at your front door, just go ahead and be prepared to practice. Grab a treat or two, go to the door, say wait. As long as he waits while you get that package, when you come back in, toss him a treat. The other thing you'll see me doing here is also testing that if I were to have a heavy package and I needed to walk farther away from the door, would he continue to wait past that line? And he definitely did. He did an amazing job. I'm going to come back, shut the door, and then reward. You also do not have to release wait unless you're letting them cross that line. So with the package, I didn't say free because he's not getting to cross the line. I'm just rewarding him. If I'm taking him out on a walk like I am here, I'm going to say free to release him through that line. Leave it means back away from the thing you were heading towards. So here I'm practicing with treats by dropping them one at a time, saying leave it each time, and then as well as dropping multiple treats at once to practice if there were items spilled like pills or candy, something that he's not allowed to have. We want to make sure that he understands if multiple things hit the ground and spread, that he also needs to leave that. Practice this in rooms of the house where you might find he's more apt to go for something like the kitchen by dropping food. Another thing is practicing by not always having the treat in your hand. So you're going to do the thing, ask him to leave it, and then go with him and do a praise party to the treats. This is what it's going to look like in real life when you have it, because you're not always going to have food on you when these moments arise.
Boy, nice job.
Drop it means let go of the thing that is in your mouth. If this is something very valuable to him, you may have to still toss the treat before he fully drops it. And when you do that, toss those treats off to the side of him so he is going to get the treats while you can pick up the thing and take it away from him.
Yes,
he's done really well with this. We're practicing here with a high value bone, and that's a pretty big ask for most pups. So he did really great overall with this one.
Good boy.
For the potty bells, he's at the stage where right now you're just going to cue him bells every time you're going to take him out to potty. Once he hits the bells, yes, good boy, and then take him out and begin cueing go potty. You're going to continue to do this until he starts consistently ringing the bells on his own accord to ask to go out to potty. All right, so Moose is always really excited to go out on walks. So before we go on our walk, we do a little bit of a focus game just to help get him ready to go so he's not just trying to drag us down on the walk and not paying attention. So you start with placing a treat on the ground. He's going to eat it, and then we're just going to wait. When he looks back up, yes, and another treat gets dropped. Yes. This is called the up and down pattern game because his head is going up and down. Yes. And you're just waiting for him to look back up and offer you eye contact. In between, you're not saying anything else. Hey there, buddy. Except for that yes, as soon as he looks up, yes. And when he can take the treat, look at you, take the treat, look at you, pretty quickly back to back. Good boy. And then I know that he is focused and ready to go. If he's spending a lot of time in between, then he is not quite ready. Yes. We're really looking for that quicker response. Yes, like that. And once he's doing that, then we know we're good to go out on the walk. Good boy. All right, so now we're headed out on our walk. Yes. The main thing that we're doing with Moose here is what we call rewarding good choices. So that is when he's walking with us, next to us. He doesn't have to be directly beside us. You can see he goes a little wide sometimes or a little in front. Yes. Good boy. That's okay. As long as he's not pulling, as long as that leash still has slack, we're going to make sure we reward that. Yes. Good boy. So rewarding good choices is just that. Rewarding him when he's doing the right things like he is now. Yes. And in the beginning here, we're rewarding what we would call about 100% of the good choices, with the goal being that as he's walking more and more, we're going to slowly start weaning down to 75%. Yes. 50%, 25%, and so on. A couple important things when we are doing this activity is that we are rewarding him right at our side. So when we say yes, our hand goes down to our side and he needs to come to that spot to receive the treat. So even if he's a little wide or a little in front, he has to come back to our side. This is really important because this helps him know that the good stuff happens next to us, which is going to keep him closer to us overall. Yes. Good boy. It's also important that you're using the hand that is closest to him. So if you have him on your left, like I do, you're going to use your left hand. If you have him on your right, you're going to use your right hand for this. This is really important because if you start rewarding him across your body, you're going to find that he's meeting you in the middle. Yes. Over. So we have a car coming. Sit. Yes. Yes. And I just jump to kind of what we did there. Over. Yes means get off to the side. Let's go. Good boy. And then what I was doing there is what we call the look at that game. And we can do this with any kind of distraction. Cars, people, dogs. We have mostly been focusing on it with cars because he has shown some interest in wanting to kind of chase cars or go towards cars when they're moving. And so the look at that game is to help prevent that. So when he looks at the car, we're going to mark yes. And so we're going to do that over and over like you just saw me do. Come on. Until the car is gone or he's no longer looking at it. Come on, buddy. Yes. The goal of this is that over time, he's going to associate cars coming with it being a cue to look at you and check in with you. Oh, you got to chew your food, bud. And so eventually what you'll see is he sees the cars and he immediately starts looking to you. Yes. Instead of kind of looking at them and worrying about them and chasing, kind of thinking about chasing them or going towards them. Come on, Moose. Oh, distractions. Come on. Sounds like a squirrel. Let's go. And so anyways, that's what we were doing there is that look at that game. Yes, good boy. Where he's watching the car pass and I'm rewarding him for staying put, looking at it and coming back to me. So you're just gonna, he looks, yes, he looks at it, yes again. So anyways, back to what I was saying also though about rewarding. Yes, when he's rewarding, we want to make sure we reward with the hand closest to him because if we start doing it across our body, he will start meeting us. If he does what he just did here, which is cross in front, I'm gonna stop, guide him back over to the side you want him on and go again. As you can see, he's not really doing a whole lot of pulling. Yes. At this point, he's doing really good with walking most of the time at our side. This way. The times, come on. Well, there's more of the thing kind of going on with his less pulling and more of this kind of stopping and wanting to check stuff out, which is totally fine. We want to allow him time for that as well. Come on, Moose. But sometimes he just needs a little cheerleading still to get going, and that's just his age because he is young. So, come on. Good boy. So sometimes he just needs a little cheering on. Yes. Good boy. Good job. Overall, though, he's doing really amazing with his leash walking. So just continue to reward these good choices while slowly weaning out how often you reward them. And you shouldn't have too many issues with pulling. And then with the distractions, specifically the cars, continue to work on that look at that game so that we don't end up with a problem where he is wanting to actually chase the cars. Good boy, Moose. You did excellent. Good job, buddy. Good job. And that's a wrap on Moose's training.